So that was my wonder for this month, guys. Witchcraft. Okay, somebody said witchcraft. Jesus Christ. All right. A medium. Yes, a medium. Right? How do mediums... I mean, in the Bible, they cast the mediums outside of the city and the town. Mm-hmm. But Saul did go to a medium, which was forbidden, and he asked for, Samuel to be summoned, but it wasn't actually Samuel because... I mean, this kind of explains it, right? There's a big separation. There's so many nuggets in this little story. Like,
that's why I like
guys, let me move over because you're squishing.
So guys, hello everybody. I'm back. I was gone for a little minute, but I'm back. This is a tough topic because it's kind of sad in a way because, like, you know how people tell like they'll tell you like, oh. I saw my grandma, like my grandma passed away and I was thinking about her so much, and then when I was like going towards the fridge, mm-hmm. boom, I saw my grandma's spirit there and she was smiling at me and then she disappeared.
Right.
Yeah. If we're looking at the Bible, that's not your grandma. You understand? That's something else.
I mean, that's a wonder. That's always a wonder.
Oh, what that is? I mean, I don't wonder. I know what that is. Jesus Christ, peace and rice.
Right, that's a wonder.
You need to pray. But, yeah, like, it's a hard pill to swallow to know that we're that separated, but it's true. And don't be fooled. I mean, you could still be dead and be living.
You don't need the mic.
Nah, that's good. It projects my voice. That's why people can hear me better. Yeah, like, you could be dead and you're living. You're walking around every day and smiling, so... Being dead, it could be something physical and it could be something spiritual.
I was done.
Oh, okay. So hello everybody, how y'all doing?
This ain't gonna be no 30-minute live. Now like you been doing lives for too long.
Y'all wanna talk? I'm down to talk.
Oh my god.
Who said what's good? What's good? That's Eunice. Eunice, you buzz, man.
Put the mic down. You don't need it. But no, the main thing is if you want to go over this story. I mean, to me, it's a great Bible study. Is a great topic to talk about because there's so many things. Like obviously you can tell like the decision was permanent, so much so that they couldn't cross over, so much so that he couldn't come and why did the rich man ask just for a little bit of water? If he was gonna ask for something, ask for a lot of things, but it was so permanent.
It probably was that hot.
It was so. I mean, obviously it was that hot, but it was.
But is hell
but the
hot
decision.
though?
That's another thing, right?
What's hell? Absence of God, right?
It says like, Hades in the Bible.
Right. Hades, hell. I mean, who's the Greek mythologist here? But what is hell?
That's another one.
Somebody should do a Bible study on that.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining Ignite on their Worship Wednesdays. Please come back next week. We have somebody else who will talk about either a miracle or... Okay, I'm sorry. Let me not end. Eunice said she is still lost. What are you lost about, Eunice?
Okay, a chasm is like a big...
A chasm.
A chasm, sorry. Mm-hmm. You know my English not that good. A big, like, divider, okay? Like think about what's a good divider? Like something that you just
divider for a binder?
Like, what?
Sorry.
Okay, think about it like when you play, what's that game? Is that not golf? When you play.
Okay, Eunice, what don't you get? So when the rich man, so in the story, there was a rich man and there was a poor man.
My dad.
Oh, eba nou te la?
Happy New Live.
What's up, man? Come on,
Ame nou pa kapane, bo sa fe nou live.
New Live. Nou te just vle do pou pa nan problem. Louis la, Nelly la. Hey guys, my dad's here. All right, Papi.
Hi Nelly. Mrs. Louis, madame Tondo, Mrs. Louis. Sa fe mal, oui, men sa mi kem fe mal pa nan moun, nou sem nan.
Papi sa pa nan, paske gen lòk moun ki la ki pa.
Kote Mrs. Louis.
Louis ka la, but gen lòk moun ki la. Gen lòk bagay yo focus.
Tout moun yo net. Messieurs, toute qualité moun voye bonsoir pou nou.
It's beyond me.
Okay, so in the story, right? Let me just give like a broken. let me just break it down a little bit. In the story, there's a rich man and a poor man. You know, they're both living separate lives. Obviously, the poor man on earth is he's really poor. Like, he's asking for scraps, right? They both die. Now, it says that the poor man is raised up into Abraham's bosom, or some versions say Abraham's side. The rich man, the next verse just says that he's asking for Lazarus to come and, you know, help him with the torment that he's experiencing in the flame. And the help that he wants is just a drip of water from his finger to be on his tongue. Now, the thing that Abraham told him was that there's a great divide between the living and the dead. Mind you, they're both dead. That's another wonder. They're both dead, but he said there's a great divide between the living and the dead. Neither you can cross to here, to there, or there to here. Now I'm assuming, like, dang. I mean, obviously, there's life, right? Dang. He said there's a great divide between the living and the dead.
Right.
Right?
So those who are alive and those who are dead.
Those who are alive and those who
Physically,
are dead.
Physically.
They both were dead.
Right. But he's saying there is a division between that. Yeah, stay on one.
I don't have all the answers to this, guys. It's just a wonder of mine that I've been studying for like years, and I'm like, today I just realized that he said there's a great divide between the living and the dead. So with the people that are alive, you know, you can interpret it as in like being alive in Christ, right? Dead in Christ is heaven, and dead in hell.
Okay, so because we alive on earth, doesn't you spiritually are alive on earth? Oh, okay, because we are alive on earth, doesn't you spiritually are alive? Oh, you gotta work on that.
So because you are alive on earth doesn't mean that you are spiritually alive. Okay, but let's just talk about this. There's a big separation between the living and the dead, meaning that the death cannot cross into living, and the living cannot cross into the death. So if you are still breathing, but like if you're physically alive and you're spiritually dead, you still have a chance to be spiritually alive.
Right.
Here in this story, if you are dead, that's it. There's no crossing over. It is permanent, right? And there's a big separation that causes the dead not to come to the living. So when you die, right, kind of like in Revelation, they talk about like the second death and stuff like that. Like, he is literally saying, like, if you are not with Christ, you are dead, right? But if you're with Christ, you're living, although you're dead, right? You're still living. So there's a big separation between the living and the dead. So the living in that parable is those who are with Christ, or those who are at Abraham's side, Abraham's bosom. Those who are dead are separated from Christ, right? And in
she
that
said the rich man never got to be alive. He never crossed over.
But she's talking about spiritually, he never got to be alive.
Spiritually, he was never alive, and when he physically died, he died. Like, it was a wrap for him.
Yeah.
Right? And then when he was asking for help, he never could really get that help because there's a separation between the living and the dead.
You know what's crazy? I think Eunice got like a major point though, because I think there's a verse in the Bible that talks about how if you're not with Christ, you die twice. Because you're dead already, and then you die again once you die. So I think that's a
okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
She's on something there.
Okay. All right.
She said, "Okay, I'm with you." Okay,
right.
yeah.
So basically, in the story, I guess the things that I was wondering about was just the questions that the rich man had for Abraham. He asked for a drip of water. He didn't ask for a glass. He didn't ask to be removed because it was permanent. He knew that it was permanent, but he was like, it's like supplication, like, please, can you give me a little bit? That's how permanent he knew that it was. He was asking for a little bit of water. And the other thing is, Lazarus ain't say nothing. To the rich man, Abraham answered, like Lazarus didn't have any question. I mean, why would he? If he's in a place of paradise, what is there for him to ask or talk about? When he's in a place where he is being comforted, he's, at joy, at peace. There's no need at that point. We are born sinners, born dead, until we are born spiritually alive. Amen, Sister Eunice. The next time I have this live, you be on here with me so you can bring
I'm alive in you. You make me new.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Please.
Take me. Papi, Louise dit bonsoir. She said already. Rele na telephone. Na boli mo telephone.
Call
her up. You got a phone. Call her up.
Yes, Litisa.
Yeah, call her up.
No. Litisa vraiment.
Haitians want to use every mean of communication but their phone. Rele na telephone. Papi, nous not live. Not for business live.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Please continue this conversation. If you want to have this Bible study at your church or even with your youth group, to kind of spark just thinking. I mean, the story, it can be scary if you know that you're not, in the right place with Christ, or you really haven't. It could be scary to know that it's permanent. Like, it's permanent. There's no turning back. There's nothing that could be done. So continue this conversation at your church, with your youth group, in your family, with any friend. Once again, the story, the parable is Luke 16, verse 19 to 31. You all have a good night. I do apologize. Like father, like son.
I don't know what's wrong with him, guys.
I'm not going to make it.
He just be going ham.
All right, guys.
Debs, no, I'm not telling him that, so he can pipe it up. You see?
We fini.
Yeah, we done, guys. My dad kicking us out.